Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Build Order Tutorials. It's going to be another PvP build. This time it's going to be more of a macro-oriented build. It's Blink Robo, which is kind of the most typical way to open. It's macro, but still good defensively against aggression, as long as you're, wary, and it's a pretty good build all around. So let's go. Pylon. Gateway. Assimilator. Assimilator. Put 2 probes in each gas when they're done. Gateway. Cybernetics core, and send that probe out to scout. Pylon. Fill your gas guys up, 3 in each. Should be fully saturated right now. Get 2 stalkers and a mothership core. Start warpgate. Put a pylon. Send a probe down near natural base. Chrono warpgate. Build a nexus. As soon as you have the minerals, build stalkers. Continue your probe production now. Build a Twilight Council. Build a Robo. Turn your gateways into warpgates. Start Blink. Chrono it. Warp in a sentry. Build a pylon at the front of your natural. Build an observer and chrono that. Warp in another sentry. Build your assimilators at the natural, both of them. Start your second observer. Fill your simulators at the natural. Continue warping in stalkers. After all, you are going blink. Start your immortal production. Remember not to get supply blocked. Build 4 gateways for your production. Your natural should be fully saturated by now. Continue building immortals. Continue warping in stalkers. Build a warp prism. Warp in whenever you can. Move out with the army. Rally your warp prism to your opponent's base. This doesn't necessarily have to do damage, but if you have an equal or greater army, then you should try poking your opponent with it. Depending on how this move out goes, you might want to change up your build a little bit. But let's assume that it's going okay in this build order tutorial. Chronoing gateways in time of attack or defense is usually a good move if you don't have anything else important on the way. The attack's working in this example, so continue warping in. But if you are deflected, then perhaps get a nexus a bit earlier. Get a nexus, regardless of how the attack is going by now. Unless you're really screwed. Hit a robotics bay. Start your transition to disruptors. And continue macroing. Alright, now on to the build discussion. The strengths of this build, pretty much that it's a solid macro build, so it's pretty good to learn if you're just getting into PvP and aren't really interested in learning how to cheese, or you don't want to take any risk against cheese. This is pretty good. In line with that, defensive properties are fantastic. You have observers, you have immortals, you can switch between the two in case, depending on what you scout, and you have the decent tech that is Blink Stalker. Again, it covers NCTs, Blink Stalkers, Oracles, as the mothership core in the main base will help against any Oracle play that you maybe did not scout. Just make sure your pylons are in position, and it runs smoothly into Blink Disruptor, which is a solid enough build. Maybe not the composition everyone's going for nowadays 100%, but still solid. The weaknesses is certainly there's no scouting until the observer and after that first probe. And even then, the observer could be sniped by the opponent if they're going for a similar build, so just keep an eye on your forward observer. You must still learn the finer points of PvP to truly be safe. Pylon positioning, columns under pressure, and a good mothership core, trigger finger, so against those oracles, immediately pop it. You know, make sure that you can actually have some scouting going on in the map, whether that's a probe or just, you know, good eyes with a stalker, so you can know if you can place a second pylon at the front or continue just macroing safely at home. It's a decent build, but it's not going to cover everything for you. Some things to help out with the build, of course, as a Protoss, just place your pylons around the base and early to mid-game to deflect oracles, specifically, but they might also help against other things, like adept run-bys. Initial stalkers can scout around the base to deflect early adepts. Didn't really showcase this here because I was facing an AI, but that's usually what you'll see pros do, is they'll run around just a tiny little bit, their third, their fourth, and look for adepts they're trying to run in, as well as proxy pylons that are very early and very close. Hold off on the second observer in favor of immortal if you feel pressured. That's kind of the way you can change up the build a little bit to what you scout or what you feel like your opponent's going to do. If pressure is applied at the front, place pylons earlier and in excess to in the front of the natural nexus. Just, you know, make sure that it's not something tricky like an attack at the front with an oracle in the back. You ideally are going to eventually have pylons everywhere to deflect anything, but in the early game, that pylon position can actually sometimes bite you since you already have, you know, you only have so many to throw down. But if you have the excess minerals, that's sometimes better than throwing down that stalker warp in. And lastly, this will buy time for the immortal and gateway production when you place those pylons down. So, and immortals are usually going to be the way to go, but gateway production as well, important. And of course, if you like this content, then consider following me on this YouTube channel, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, supporting my Patreon, whatever. And also, go ahead and check out my other videos. Thanks for watching.